Hello everyone, Rania Gogo here, and this is chapter 4, part 4 of my course on magic and spiritual transformation. Today we're going to be talking about the element of water. This was actually one of the tougher classes for me to finish because the more I dove in, the more I explored, the more complex she became. It would be nearly impossible for me to teach everything there is to know about water in one lifetime. Just know that she's very deep, but there is so much potent magic to be unlocked as you work with the element of water. So my personal dive into working with water is very complex, and I had to realize that the deeper I went, the more I had to take breaks in order to rise to the surface, catch my breath. When you work with water, it's very good to balance that energy with the elements of earth and air, because earth is very grounding and air gives you that breath that you need, because water can be pretty deep. It's the element that is most related to emotions, divination, psychic abilities. So it can get very complex and it can get very tough if you explore beyond the surface. Water is extremely important. Throughout history, thriving communities were built around bodies of water because water is life. Water sustains us. Without water, we would perish, A huge percentage of our bodies are composed of water. We actually have the same amount of water in our bodies as the planet Earth has in her body. So in this class, I'm going to give you a general rundown of the element of water, and then I'm going to teach you practical ways that you can incorporate water into your lives spiritually and magically. How to work with water in harmony in order to benefit your daily life. Just gonna let Tupac click to where he wants to click to because he's clicking around with his little long toenails. Water is generally considered very feminine in aspect because she is very related to motherhood, nourishment, healing. Throughout history, there have been many cultures who consider water to be the mother of all life, the mother of all deities. I will say that there are also very masculine aspects of water too, because water is highly adaptable and can take on many forms. Water can be considered very peaceful and calming in 1 minute, and in the next it can be considered a force that is so powerful that it can carve mountains and destroy lands, right? Water can be pretty fucking scary. Great respect must be heeded when it comes to working with water in all of its aspects. There are many different deities, elementals, spirits that are connected to the element of water, and it shows up in the form of rain, rivers, storms, the ocean, springs, vapors, lakes, swamps. And all of these different forms of water have very complex qualities that we can learn to work with to be in harmony with this planet, to benefit us when it comes to our spirituality, our daily lives. This is why water was very complex for me, because within the past couple of months, I was put into some very interesting situations where I had to navigate through different forms of water. And I found sometimes that it was quite challenging, but also just so rewarding and so empowering. One of the best ways to align yourself with the element of water is to consider the term going with the flow. To go with the flow. Knowing when to release, welcome in, slow down, speed up, when to catch the right waves. To really get connected with the element of water is to learn how to surrender and to trust. Some people try so hard to fight against the current, when in reality, if they were to just trust in divine time, they would know exactly when to catch the right waves to take them to where they need to go. Water is a very important element that we can work with in our daily lives in order to help us release, receive, attract, The one thing that we have to realize though is water is pretty tough to control. So we really have to have a lot of faith and a lot of trust when it comes to working with the mysterious and beautiful element of water. Water is a very important element for us to learn how to incorporate into our daily lives, practically and magically. So here are some practical ways that we can work with the element of water. Working with the element of water for purification. Why am I saying, I must have said purification. Purification, like 3 different, okay, never mind. Water is very cleansing. So when it comes to cleansing, clearing of negative energies, releasing energies that do not serve you, of course, water would be the perfect ally to call upon when it comes to releasing. And when it comes to releasing, the more that you release, the more that you have space to welcome in what is aligned to you. Taking baths or showers with the intention of releasing and clearing yourself of energies that do not serve you is a must. Do it regularly. Do it at least once a week. And when you have these intentions of working with water to help clear you, you'll really start realizing how much that intention amplifies that clearing, that cleansing. Do it with love. Do it with gratitude. Really connect with water, and she will help release what does not serve you. I work with a lot of people who are sensitive as well, and I am one of those people, very sensitive to energies. So the most practical way to release energies that kind of build up throughout the day is to go to any sink and put your hands under running water and actually have the intention to allow the water to help release any stagnant energies, any built up energies from our hands. I actually do this multiple times a day. I do it in between sessions. I put my hands under running water and just allow her to release those blockages, that heavy energy. When I do healings, my hands get very hot, so I also have blessed water. So I bless my own water. This is like moon water with healing herbs, and in between sessions I just spray my hands, especially right after doing a healing or clearing. If my hands are very hot, I just spray this and use this to help release, and it really helps. I don't know what I did before I learned this practice, but I do know that my nails, well, they don't look that great right now because the nail polish is all coming off, but my nails are a lot healthier because I'm not picking at them. I'm not feeling that built up tension within my hands. So allowing water to sort of rinse your hands throughout the day is a perfect way for people who are sensitive, people who are in stressful situations, to sort of release a lot of the tension that we carry, because a lot of people do tend to carry tension in their hands, especially people who are sensitive, people who are born healers, healing hands. It's good to have a practice to help clear your hands throughout the day, and I'll tell you, it helps. It really does. I also clear my hands in running water, even if I'm not doing healings, but if I'm around a lot of people, groups of people at parties, I do feel it in my hands. I think like a lot of the stank from people activates my healing hands, and my hands get very hot, so I just go to the bathroom and run my hands in water to just help release. Pay attention to your body. See how you feel. If you feel like you're carrying a lot of tension in your hands, use water, because she really does help. I also like using smoke to clear my hands as well, but it's a lot easier to put your hands in water as opposed to like pulling out a smoke bundle to smoke your hands out while you're in public. But I don't know, if you want to do that, go ahead, you know. I actually do carry spritzers, but it kind of just looks like I'm using hand sanitizer. Another great way to work with water that is very practical is to program your water before you drink it. Water is extremely programmable. It's just like quartz crystals. If you speak loving intentions, gratitude into your water before you drink it, it amplifies the healing, the love, the nourishment that you would be consuming. You can even speak your intentions into the first glass of water that you have for the day. So you get your first glass of water and you just program it with good energies. I would like to attract good energy and divine flow throughout my day. Or I would like to call in energies of love and support throughout my day. Speaking loving intentions into your first glass of water is a very beautiful way to start your day. Water is very connected to the moon and it aligns with the moon phases. So it's a great idea to use this to your advantage. Learn the moon phases and learn which rituals you would want to perform that align with these phases. When it comes to the new moon, that is all about setting intentions, thinking about what you want to grow or manifest. The waxing moon is all about growth, manifestation, building a plan to reach your goals. The full moon is like the fullest power of water, so you can work with the full moon for gratitude, healing, cleansing, releasing, love, fertility, giving offerings for blessings, abundance, divination, and charging your water tools or your crystal. And the waning moon, which happens after the full moon, is all about releasing, banishing, cleansing, healing. I suggest anyone who wants to get into magic and spiritual development to really start learning about the moon phases, because I just gave the gist of it, but there's so much more to explore when it comes to working with the moon. Working with teas, brews, potions. Water is the perfect vessel for plant medicines, especially when it comes to carrying that medicine through our own bodies. There are many plants that are aligned with the element of water, but truly water can be used for many different plants. I drink teas and brews pretty much every day. I make my own kombuchas, I make my own tea blends. I pretty much have a blend for everything when it comes to boosting my immunity, being able to sleep, being able to have energy. Water is the carrier that I use when it comes to consuming plants and plant medicine. We can work with water to welcome an abundance. Water is a magnetic element that helps us to attract what we wish. Many spiritual practices throughout history considered the ocean to carry many riches, and I can attest to this, that the times that I have given offerings to the ocean in order to receive blessings, financial blessings, blessings of abundance, I was pleasantly surprised. I was gifted with undeniable, huge blessings when I gifted the ocean some offerings in order to receive. So when it comes to working with water, do not forget the power of giving offerings and also sacrifice when it comes to receiving blessings, because those blessings from the ocean, from the river, can be extremely miraculous. I can't think of any other word to describe the blessings that I've received from working with the ocean. It's important for me to point out, though, that when it comes to giving offerings to the ocean, you have to keep in mind that you want to be gifting the ocean things that are safe for the ocean, only things that are organic. You don't want to be putting garbage into the ocean. So usually when I give offerings to the ocean, it's my own hair, it's ashes, it is flowers, plants. I don't put a lot into the ocean, but what I do is put a lot of ritual, a lot of love and intention into the small amounts that I actually do put into the ocean. And this is so that I can be mindful that I'm not polluting the ocean, because that would be very counterintuitive. Also, whenever I go to the ocean to give offerings, I go with a bag and I take my time to clean up the beach before I leave. I'm offering up my time in order to receive even more blessings. You know, cleaning up the ocean is very important. So be mindful of that. When you work with the ocean, you have to harmonize with the ocean or any body of water, right? If you're visiting a stream or a waterfall and it tends to be a place where there's a lot of people that leave trash, one of the best things that you can do is try to clean up those areas as best you can before you leave. That is an offering that will yield blessings. Another way to give offerings to the ocean or bodies of water, if you don't have access to bodies of water, is to actually donate money. Donate money to ocean conservation projects. Donate money to water protectors, people who are actively going out there to protect our waters. You would be surprised the blessings that you can receive when you donate to these charities with the intention to receive blessings back. It's like a transaction. You're doing good for the ocean, for the planet, and then the ocean and the planet will support you. Another big one, consuming fish. Consuming fish is part of my lineage, right? It's a very important part of my lineage. But because of where we are today, with how unsustainable fishery practices are, how much fisheries are polluting our oceans and causing severe harm to our planet, I do not consume fish or seafood anymore. And that is a sacrifice, because I fucking love fish. But I also know that consuming fish causes damage to the ocean. And until I can actually find a source of sustainable fishing or fish that were harvested in a way that is not harmful to our waters, I'm not going to consume fish. So I'm not expecting everyone to just stop eating fish, but consider that a sacrifice. If you really love fish, you could say, I'm not going to eat fish for a month in order to receive whatever blessings that you want to ask for. Remember when I spoke of offerings and sacrifice, sacrificing consuming fish is a very beautiful way to receive blessings from the ocean. Another way to receive blessings from the ocean and bodies of water is to be using less plastics, those one-time use plastics. There are so many alternatives now. I know it's kind of tough because in a lot of markets, it's hard to find much of anything that doesn't have some form of plastic. But if you can try, that would help. I actually like to seek out bulk bins at markets where I can reuse my own bags or reuse my own containers so that I don't have to feed into the whole plastic business. I really hope that eventually big plastic can just fucking stop, because I do understand that it is hard as a consumer to find products that aren't packaged in plastic. But do your best. It's a good way to not only support our oceans, our waters, but also our planet. So I just gave some practical ways that you can give offerings to the ocean and other bodies of water in order to receive blessings. I also want to mention that water is also very magnetic when it comes to attraction. So if you want to attract love, friendships, a following, work with the element of water, give offerings to water in the ways that I mentioned, and allow that flow, that divine flow, to help you receive whatever it is that you wish. But also remember the importance of releasing. Releasing all the shit that does not serve you is going to help make room for whatever it is that you want to bring to you. Water is also related to, like I said, attraction, sensuality, sexuality, love. So working with water for love spells, also self-love, is very powerful. Working with ocean goddesses or river goddesses are a beautiful way to attract the energies of all aspects of love. Water is also connected to fertility and creation, and I'm not just talking about popping out babies. Water is connected to all aspects of creativity, whether it's a story you want to write, some art that you want to create, a business that you want to manifest. Water can support the creation of new ideas, projects, art, music. I consider rainwater very powerful when it comes to manifestation, because throughout history, people were praying to the gods of rain in order to help nourish their crops,
During the very valuable times when we have some rare rain here in Southern California, I like to collect rainwater in silver vessels, and I put this water in bottles and also spray bottles so I can spray down specific altars. The spray is handy to bless tools, talismans, and the anting that I sell at magicagogo.com. I also like to incorporate it into my homemade floor washes in order to welcome the energies of rainwater when I'm cleaning.
So using rainwater is the perfect element to use when it comes to magic that pertains to nourishing what you wish to manifest and creation. Very potent magic within rainwater. Dreams and divination are very aligned with the element of water because water is very connected to spirituality and the spirit realm. So working with herbs related to the element of water and the moon will deeply support your work when it comes to wanting to have prophetic dreams, astral travel, connecting to the spirit realm. Some of my favorite herbs to work with when it comes to divination and dream work are mugwort, lemon balm, jasmine, blue lotus, and butterfly pea flower. Water is a very important element to work with when it comes to healing the physical body. Because our bodies are composed of mostly water, of course it makes sense to work with the element of water when it comes to healing of ailments, both physical and spiritual. I would say about 90% of the healings that I do for people consist of calling upon the element of water to help, because water is related to the blood, so it helps to have healthy flow within our systems. Water helps with the releasing of the energies that do not serve a person, and water also helps with the welcoming of energies that are aligned to a person. So I would say 90% or more, maybe 99% of the time, water does show up in order to help assist with the healing work that I do. I touched on this a little bit earlier, but water is very much related to emotions, so it is pretty important for us to balance working with other elements such as earth for grounding or air for clarity and balancing our intellect when things feel a little bit overwhelming, because water can sometimes amplify our emotions. So when it comes to working with water and our emotions, it's a good idea to not accidentally program our bodies to react to our emotions. I catch people all the time judging themselves for feeling their emotions or feeling their feelings, and I always call them out when they do so, because it's a bad habit that has been ingrained into society. I don't know how many times I've had a client cry during a session, and what do they do immediately? They apologize. I'm so sorry that I'm crying. Crying is important. Crying is one of the only ways that our bodies can release the stress hormone. But for some reason, society has programmed us to feel that crying is a sign of weakness. You shouldn't be crying in front of other people's. Man, let those tears flow. Be open to whatever feelings and emotions may come up, and then give those feelings permission to be released without judgment. You know, that's healthy flow. That's working with water in a way that will benefit your whole body, your whole system. Another great way to work with water is to use natural bodies of water to charge your crystals. During my honeymoon, I was able to charge my main healing crystal in many different bodies of water. Waterfalls, healing streams, rivers, different areas of the ocean. Water carries memory, and there are many bodies of water that people throughout history used to do healing work, to do clearing work. So I always make it a point to travel with my main healing crystals to charge them in natural bodies of water in order to bless them with the memories of different where was I? And of course, another very important way to connect with the element of water is to meditate, listening to the sounds of water, the frequencies of water. And this brings me to a pretty interesting story. So a while ago, I was trying to figure out if there were any missing components to my exploration with the element of water. I had a session with this person, and immediately I felt the energies of the ocean deity, which feel very deep. It almost feels like you're on ecstasy. But needless to say, I received this message immediately that this person is the voice of the ocean. So I brought it up to the person that I was reading for, and it turns out that she actually is a marine biologist who records the sounds of the ocean and makes really amazing music and soundscapes for people to enjoy that incorporate the sound of the ocean. And I'm like, what? So I definitely want to introduce y'all to the work of Dr. Heather Spence. You can check out some of her work at www.oceanworldofsound.com. I will put links to her work below because I really feel that it was divinely timed that the voice of the ocean had a session with me almost maybe a day after me giving offerings to the ocean, asking for more content or more that I could be sharing to the collective. To me, it's a no-brainer when Spirit gives me divinely timed messages, so definitely check out oceanworldofsound.com and the work of Dr. Heather Spence, because I really feel that whatever it is that she's doing is very important. I receive messages from the ocean validating this. I really feel that if you want to connect with the sounds of the ocean, the frequencies of the ocean, you should give some of her stuff a listen, because I really felt that it was powerful and it truly did evoke the feelings that I get when I try to channel the energies of the ocean. I truly feel that sound and frequency are a very important part of connecting with the ocean. So take the time to find sources that connect you to those sounds, those frequencies. Give the ocean a listen. And do it with some intentions like healing or manifesting, attracting love.
I almost forgot one of the most important aspects of my practice when it comes to connecting with water is my ocean and water altar. So I have water incorporated in all of my altar spaces in one form or another, but this one is dedicated specifically to the element of water, the ocean, rain. As you can see, there are many different levels to this altar because this is where I do a lot of trance work, divination. This is where I put in petitions for healing and deepening spiritual connections, spiritual guidance. This space is also very intertwined with my dream work. This is a very sacred space, so I keep it up weekly with offerings. This is also one of the altar spaces that I use specifically for blessing candles, tools, and tings, talismans, for love, healing, and release. I also have an altar dedicated to sweetwater spirits in the river, and this one is specifically for love, attraction, prosperity, and welcoming and supportive energies. This is also a great space that I use for putting in petitions for fertility. I light candles here for clients who need support with pregnancy. Sweetwater altars create space for gentle, loving support.
So in this video, we talked about water in all of its different forms, how you can work with water practically and give offerings and sacrifice and all that good shit when it comes to being in harmony with water. For the next video, I'm going to be recording a beautiful meditation journey to help y'all connect with the element of water. So think of an intention or multiple intentions that you want to bring when it comes to connecting with water. Release, receiving, healing, love, amplifying your magic. Whatever it is that you wish to bring, I invite you to do so for the next video. It's going to help you connect with this beautiful, powerful, multifaceted element that can benefit your daily lives, your spiritual lives, your magical practices, you name it. So I'm Rania Gogo. I also want to invite you to go to my website, magickagogo.com. That's MAGICKAUGOGO.com, so that you can possibly donate. If you enjoy this video, you can also schedule a one-on-one session with me. I do ancestral healings. I do regular healings. I help open doors. That's the main work that I do. I help people to connect with spirit and help open doors when people feel stuck, stagnant. So hit me up because I'm available.
You can also check out our shop where I sell blessed tools, talismans, candles, soaps, oils, also sculptures by my husband, Cig Neutron. Our shop is only open a handful of times throughout the year, so check it out while it's still open.
The next video is going to be the fourth key for this Magic and Spiritual Transformation course, which I hope to conclude before the end of next year, but we'll see. You know, I do try to balance my healing practice and my one-on-one sessions with these classes, and sometimes I get pretty booked, so I definitely do want to finish these courses to help the collective really connect with your own magic, with the elements, with the medicine of this planet. If you feel like this work resonated with you, please comment, like, and subscribe to this channel. So I'm Rania Gogo again. Thank you so much, y'all. Take care.